The morning of June 27th was clear and sunny, with the fresh warmth of a full summer day. The flowers were blossoming profusely and the grass
Readercon Guest of Honor, Jeffrey Ford, is a 4-time winner of the Shirley Jackson Award, winner of a Nebula Award, a finalist for the Hugo, Stoker, British Fantasy, and Theodore Sturgeon Awards, and has won the World Fantasy Award an astonishing 7 times. His many novels and stories have set the standard for both entertainment and elegance in the literature of the dark fantastic and been a profound influence on an entire generation of writers. We are delighted to present Jeff Ford.
It's a great honor to be here today to talk a little bit about Shirley Jackson. At first, I didn't know what to say, but then just a couple of days ago, I received in the mail a book from Random House. It was free, and what's more, they didn't want a blurb. I remembered my agent saying something about it in an email to me. I opened the package, and lo and behold, it was the letters of Shirley Jackson, edited by her son Lawrence Jackson Hyman. I immediately dipped into it. In no time, was all over it. I rarely read linearly from one to the next, but it didn't matter. What I discovered in this collection of her communications with friends and family was Shirley Jackson, the person. As her son says in the introduction, you can really get a sense of her unique speech and voice from reading these writings. The pauses, the timing of the jokes, the vocabulary, the irony, the gossipy nature of some of them. In certain letters, she writes about her children, or her husband, or her family life, dinners and school, finding time to write amid the daily chores. Her sense of humor brought me closer to her. The cartoons she drew, the hilarious stories she told about a young man who was scandalized because he came to their private teaching session in her room and saw she was about to have a glass of bourbon. Seeing the weight of her every day, the fact of her reality added to her words, and my perception of her stories and novels, I realized how her accomplishments were far greater than I'd ever perceived. Of course, after finding Shirley Jackson among her letters, I decided to write her a letter myself. And here it is. Dear Shirley, I don't know if you know it, but I have a lot to thank you for. Right off the bat, let me thank you for erasing the boundaries between genre and literature and pointing the way to the undiscovered country that lay between them. It ultimately gave me, as a writer of quote-unquote idiosyncratic stories, a place to call home and not be hounded that my fiction was neither genre enough nor literary enough. It also gave me new vistas of possibility. There are so many others as well who would join me if they knew I was writing to you. Thanks for making the everyday mysterious and being a champion non-explainer. Thanks for The Lottery, which I first read in 6th grade, and which Harold Bloom claimed was a failure because it could only wound once. Oh, Bloomy. Of course, he's all about the wounds, but on subsequent readings, I discovered the very subtle interconnections between the members of the mob. That aspect of the story continues to reveal to me the depth of it. Also, thanks for The Haunting of Hill House, a book that never gave me a jump scare, like a cat leaping out of a closet in a Friday night horror standard, but rather a haunting sense of unease that dogged me, and I wrestled with over the years, a spirit of isolation, loneliness, and intimate psychology that was far more affecting. I returned to it time and time again. Thanks for A Cauliflower in Her Hair, for not assaulting me with the moral outrage of it, but gracefully insinuating, allowing me to come to the realization of the crime committed. Thanks for being a strong woman ahead of your time, with wonderful female protagonists when there were few. Thanks for having Ralph Ellison over to work on The Invisible Man, one of my favorites, his own exploration of an undiscovered country. Although you did say he seemed to have a lot more fun fixing the stereo. Thanks for showing that it was possible to have children and work and chores and the cooking of meals, the heartache of love, and to enjoy the mundane joys of friends and the daily pace, and still be a writer who insists on their story, told their way. You like bourbon? I do too. And The Wizard of Oz? I'm with you. Thanks again. Be well and stay cool, Jeff.
Welcome to the 2020 Shirley Jackson Awards ceremony. The Shirley Jackson Awards were established in 2007 with the permission of the Jackson estate to recognize the legacy of the author of such classic works as The Haunting of Hill House, We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and one of the most famous short stories in the English language, The Lottery. In keeping with this legacy, the awards honor outstanding achievement in the literature of horror, psychological suspense, and the dark fantastic. Each year, a jury of professional writers, editors, critics, and academics selects both nominees and winners for the best work published in the preceding calendar year in 6 categories: novel, novella, novelette, short fiction, single author collection, and anthology. This year's awards recognize work first available in 2020. We are deeply grateful to Shirley Jackson's family for their continued confidence and support. The work of Shirley Jackson continues to be a major influence on writers of every kind of fiction, from the most traditional genre offerings to the most innovative literary work. We are pleased to honor her work by honoring the work of the extraordinary writers and editors on this year's ballot. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the ceremony.
And now the presentation of the 2020 Shirley Jackson Awards.
No live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality.
Holes by R.A. Busby. Graceful Burdens by Roxanne Gay. Isn't Your Daughter Such a Doll by Toby Ogundiran. Not the Man I Married by R.A. Busby. Room and Board Included, Demonology Extra by Eden Royce. The Memory Game by Frankie Haber. And the award goes to R.A. Busby for Not the Man I Married.
I am incredibly honored to accept the Shirley Jackson Award for short fiction. Jackson was an incisive and brilliant observer of human horror whose life and career have been an inspiration to me and to other women writers, so this award is doubly meaningful. I am eternally grateful for the support I have received, and I would like to express my deepest thanks to my family, my friends, and the members of the horror fiction community who have been so supportive. Thank you.
There's someone here to see you.
Disoriented, Mrs. Arnold said. She stood up. Alienation, she said. Reality. Before the doctor could stop her, she walked to the door and opened it. Reality, she said, and went out.
Settling the World selected stories by M. John Harrison. Mannequin and Wife by Jen Fox. Thin Places by Kay Chronister. Velocities Stories by Kathy Koja. Moonflower, Nightshade, All the Hours of the Day by J.D. Scott. Aftermath of an Industrial Accident. Stories by Mike Allen. And the award goes to Kathy Koja for Velocities Stories.
I remember as a very young writer sitting in the hallway at my mom's house, the hallway bookcase, reading this book, Come Along With Me. by Shirley Jackson with a 19-paragraph masterclass called Notes for a Young Writer. And I read that, and I read it, and I learned, and I learned. So you can imagine what it means to be here right now for me. Thanks to the mighty Meerkat Press and Trisha Reeks, and special thanks to my amazing agent, Christopher Schelling. But first and last, thank you, Shirley.
Things will be different afterward, she said. Everything that makes the world like it is now will be gone. We'll have new rules and new ways of living.
After Sundown, edited by Mark Morris. Black Cranes, Tales of Unquiet Women, edited by Lee Murray and Genevieve Flynn. Miscreations, Gods, Monstrosities and Other Horrors, edited by Doug Murano and Michael Bailey. The Night Bazaar, Venice, 13 Tales of Forbidden Wishes and Dangerous Desires, edited by Lenore Hart. Lullabies for Suffering, Tales of Addiction Horror, edited by Mark Matthews. Shadows and Tall Trees, Volume 8, edited by Michael Kelly. Tiny Nightmares, edited by Lincoln Michel and Nagiali Nieto. And the award goes to Lee Murray and Genevieve Flynn for Black Cranes, Tales of Unquiet Women.
Thank you so much for this honor. Black Cranes was created to share the experience of being the perpetual other. Receiving an award, which is the legacy of an author who often wrote about social outcasts at the mercy of the environment, is particularly wonderful. Thank you to the organizers and jurors for all the work behind the scenes in judging the awards. And congratulations to the other nominees in our category. We're thrilled to be sharing the room with you. Thank you, Lee, for that wicked twinkle in your eye that started us on this path. It's been a delight and privilege working with you. You deserve every accolade for your writing, editing, and mentorship. To our fabulous Crane family, Nadia Bulkin, Grace Chan, Rin Chipico, Elaine Krieg-King, Gabriella Lee, Rena Mason, Angela Yurko Smith, and Christina Singh. We're so happy your voices are being heard and your talent is being recognized. Thank you to my mother, Rosalind, for the lessons, the love, and the sacrifices. Thank you to my husband, Owen, for giving me the push that I needed. And lastly, to the readers, the writers, the publishers, the reviewers, thank you. The heart of the horror community is beating steady and strong.
Well, I'd like to echo Genevieve's comments. Thank you to the jury for this kind acknowledgement of our work, and to all the readers and reviewers who have supported Black Cranes since its release. Thanks to our publisher, Kate Jones at Omnium Gatherum, who spied the glint of gold in our premise, and to horror artist Greg Chapman, who chose to wrap us in red silk, an auspicious and ultimately joyful choice. Thank you to author Alma Katsu for fearlessly unleashing the fury with her magnificent foreword to our book of Unquiet Tales. To my family, I apologize for all the cheese on toast dinners you've had to eat while I've been busy with Black Cranes. And to my mother, Pauline, thank you for being half my size, but twice the woman I could ever wish to be. Thank you to Genevieve, my fabulous co-editor, for your sharp observations, your humility, and your humor. I've loved every moment of our collaboration and the friendship we've forged. Finally, both Genevieve and I are excited at how far our Black Cranes concept has flown and the new projects it has given rise to, both from our contributors and from the wider horror community. We can't wait to see what's coming next. So from these unquiet voices, thank you all for the gift of being heard.
There they all will be, packed inside and crushed back against the wall, and I shall eat the room in one mouthful, chewing ruthlessly on the boards and the small, sweet bones.
The Best of Both Worlds by S.P. Miskowski. History of an Executioner by Clancy McGilligan. Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. Agatha's Barn, A Carpenter's Farm Story by Michael Bailey. Her Mad Song by C.J. Halbard. And the award goes to Stephen Graham Jones for Night of the Mannequins.
Thank you, Selection Committee. Thank you, Shirley Jackson Award administrators. Thank you, Shirley Jackson. Thank you, Ellen Datlow. I wouldn't have written this novel had Ellen Datlow not prompted me to. And, I see the other books, the other names on this novella ballot, and I have to suspect that Tor.com ran all around to the judges' houses and put mannequins out behind the bushes in their backyard to kind of scare them into doing this, because I don't know how else I win. Thank you to everyone.
Don't do it, Eleanor told the little girl. Insist on your cup of stars. Once they have trapped you into being like everyone else, you will never see your cup of stars again. Don't do it.
I Will Find You, Even in the Dark by Jessica Landry. Many restless concerns the victims of Countess Bathory speak in chorus, a testimony by Gail Brandeis. The Attic Tragedy by J. Ashley Smith. Faith by Sayaka Murata, translated by Ginny Tapley Takamori. Heritage Hill by Matthew R. Davis. Pale Toes by Marco Hautala, translated by Sana Tejo. Signor Ligotti by Bernardo Esquinza, translated by James D. Jenkins. And the award goes to J. Ashley Smith for The Attic Tragedy.
Thank you so much. I continue to be amazed at all the love this little book has received. I want to thank everyone who had a hand in getting it here, to all the panellists and judges, to the beta and sensitivity readers, to the authors who gave their time to read and blurb it, and to everyone along the way who bought it, shared it, reviewed it, or recommended it. Thank you. Special thanks, of course, go to Tricia at Meerkat Press and to Karen Warren for all the things. Thanks again, everybody, and congratulations to all the winners.
The house was waiting now, she thought, and it was waiting for her. No one else could satisfy it.
Sisters by Daisy Johnson. Death in Her Hands by Otessa Moshfegh. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. True Story by Kate Reed Petty. And the award goes to Stephen Graham Jones for The Only Good Indians.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't expect it to be me, The Only Good Indians, because I see the other names, the other books up there, Anyway, thank you, Selection Committee. Thank you, Shirley Jackson Award administrators. Thank you, Shirley Jackson. I think without Shirley Jackson, where is horror? Where is any of us, really? And there's so many people to thank. It's so ridiculous that it gets to be my name on the book, because I feel like I'm just one person of many who did this. Thanks to my agent, BJ Robbins. Thanks to the publicist for The Only Good Indians, Lauren Jackson, for getting it in everybody's hands. Thank you to Joe Monty for making me change everything that was broken in it, and I didn't realize it was broken. Joe Monte saves my life every time, it feels like. Thank you to all the readers for running with these elk. It means everything. I'm honored.
Mm-hmm.